Car guys, here we are back again in my garage, still winter time and still working on the Jeep. So today we're going to be installing a universal oil catch can. All right, so we're going to be installing this. This is a universal one. I think I paid like 25 bucks for it. I'll have the link down in the comment section for it though. It's a pretty decent one. Don't have any issues. We'll go through the details of that later on. Prepping is the biggest thing on here. They do have some kits that cost a lot more than this, that is they consider to be more plug and play, but as you add different things on, some of those plug and play one may not work with the brackets they give you. Like for instance, I have the power box over here for my 6-gang switch inside to control all my lights. So this is here now. So there's little room. I've seen where some put it back here, but that to me seems like it'd be a hassle because you'll never be able to get to the catch can to change the oil. You always have to take the bracket off. Over here, there really isn't any room for it over there. And we have the cold air intake up here. No room here, no room in there, no room in there, not really. To me, right here is our best spot right here. Getting it off up in there. And what does that mean? That means we're gonna have to manufacture a bracket to be able to have that sit right up in there, like about somewhat like that, all right? So that's how it'll be. The hoses, of course, are on the opposite end, will attach to the opposite end of that, and that could pose a problem which way, because I think that direction with the hose this way would probably be best, but with the bracket it may be pointing in that direction. And so I'm looking at, my consideration is to have a bracket. Let's see if we can find it. There is a, where did I see that at? I found a bolt. Here we go, right over here. I don't know, do you see that bolt right there? So to have a L bracket come up over the ABS system right here, the brake system, ABS brake system, so it'll come up right here, and then do another L bracket connecting to that over in this direction, and the other part of the L will go down there. And then that back side of the L is where the oil can will attach to. So that's the plan. I'll meet you guys in my office, and we'll do the open box for the catch can, other supplies that I also got as well to help make this hopefully an easier install, and also the making of a bracket. It may not be the prettiest bracket in the world, but we'll make it work. All right. All right. So we're in my office / game room right now, and these are the things that I have to work on this oil catch can install. Of course, this is the catch can that came. You can see that there. Pretty decent one. Try to get in some better light over here for you guys. Yeah, was that there? There we go. So that's it here. Feels good. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'll open it up soon. So that's the oil catch can. It comes with all the hardware here, and this right here is the baffling or whatever you want to call it that you put inside that helps to grab the oil out of the air that goes through there. The what do you want to call that? The fumes or air mixture that goes through will grab the oil from that, so that hopefully only air go through back into the intake. This hose right here, which we'll throw away because it's cheap and won't work for our purpose. So these are L and tape. I'll probably use some of my own thread tape given that they gave such a cheap hose, I probably wouldn't put too much into their thread tape as well. But those are the things that come in the kit. As far as what did I get to help out with this? Well, I got bigger ones because they have some in there, but they're kind of small. If any of them work, that's fine. But I'm going to be using, this is the other thing I got here with it, is this 5/8 inch heater hose. A bit under 6 feet, I think is up in here. I got that to use in our application because that's all they gave you. That will never be enough. I'm hoping that this amount right here, I'll put the link for this one down there too as well, but it's 5/8 inch. Don't get half inch, get 5/8 inch. And so I got some connectors here, clamps to actually go with that size. And for mounting this, you see these, I don't know if you can see that in the light, but those holes right there, that's how it's going to mount onto the brackets that I'm going to be manufacturing. This handle right here, you see those two silver bolts, those come out, and then this handle will come off too as well, which will allow for me to be able to just mount this onto one of those brackets, those L-shaped brackets. So those, I got these right here. These are 5mm, two 5mm bolts, two 5mm nuts. These are locking nuts, and I also got some 5mm washers too. So those are the correct size to be able to go through those two holes. So I got those. This is for, actually this is for another application I'm doing. So click in my subscribe link down there. Subscribe over there to me, the red button down there, and you can see this. I'm painting the engine cover, and so you guys may want to watch that one. I'll be uploading that one soon once I finish that project. But back to this one. This is one of the two L brackets I got. I'm hoping it'll work out for application. Picked this up from Menards, the hardware store. The other one is silver, a bit thicker. I wanted some very strong brackets to be able to, not so it wouldn't be flexing and bouncing around. So I'm not saying that this is going to be what the bracket I'm going to use, but it's all trial and error at this point, so we'll see if it works. The other one I have in my basement, because I painted it, because that one was silver when I got it, you know, just raw metal color. So I painted it black as well, so it's down there painted. I trimmed it down a little bit too, and so it'll go with this right here. So of course I'm gonna need some hardware to put those two together as well, some bolts and nuts and washers. So this is what we have here to be able to put this together. So after the brackets are ready, we'll go through trying to make that bracket work. And then once we know the bracket that we'll use, we'll start the install, okay? All right, so this is roughly the plan here. So we have our catch can, and what I want to do is take this bracket here that I got from the hardware store, figured like $2 for it, and I want to attach it somewhat like that, right? The other L bracket will attach here and then go down to attach to that bolt that I showed you. Not saying this is going to work. I'm not sure if it's going to be a lot of play in there in the end, but initially this one I'm looking. So I'm going to have two bolts connecting those two together, and then I want to drill out two holes in here in the bracket to line up with the two holes back here. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Now to do that, I'm going to remove these two screws back here with my Allen's wrench to take the bracket off to make this whole process hopefully a lot easier. And so I'm glad they did make it where it's removable. All right. So we'll get that all unscrewed. So I have that. And put those to the side so I don't lose them. And this is the bracket. All right, that's the bracket. And to know how this is right here, the catch can, It does come with a dipstick, so you can know how much oil is in there, so you'll know when you need to dump it. You got your outside, and you also have your inside. So this is it for the out hose, and this is for the in hose. And then when it screws off here, so if it's mounted, you'll be able to take the cup off at the bottom by just unscrewing it off. Lots of threads, so that's good. There's the dipstick down there, as you can see, going in here. And there's an O-ring up in here. Now, from what I read on past reviews, is that this O-ring isn't the best one, so I probably will change that out before I find out that it's not the best one. So I'll probably get a stronger one for that. And this right here, this baffling material, whatever you want to call it, that goes inside of here, like so. So you just put that up in there, like that. So when the fumes go up in there, it's going to, the oils will actually, capture onto these right here to hold them in. So when the air goes out to go out to the outside of the hose, it should be hopefully much less fumes or oils within that air that's going out into your intake manifold. And then you will take that and, being careful, put it back up on there. Let's see here, put it onto the outside of that so that it can easily turn around. Oh, how about this? I just take the dipstick off to make it easier on me. I bet a bunch of you guys said that before I did it. Put that back in. And I believe within the pack here, there may be a O-ring for this right here. And there may be one already in it. No, there isn't. I'm not sure. But the O-rings that I have in here for these connectors, I may go ahead and get some newer ones too, just to make sure I have some more higher quality O-rings on everything. And it would be nice to have a nice O-ring for this as well. So put that back in. And now I can set that off to the side. And now I'm going to take this here, and the way I want to do it is that, and remembering not to put it on upside down, is that the two holes go up near the top. And the top of this right here is roughly about, what would we say that is, about 1/2 inch of material, plus including the dipstick sticking up. You want to think about that from your hood hitting it standpoint. So you want to account for that as far as not to make it sit too high. So if I want to have it on there roughly like that, I'll flip it over for now from a drilling standpoint, and decide where I want to drill it at. I may see this right here has an elongated hole in there, so the holes kind of fall in that area, one or the other. So I'm probably going to offset it to the side just a bit. That way I kind of avoid that. And so I'm going to do that, and I'll take some vice grips to be able to hold it on here. Something like that. So now I got my vice grips holding it on, and I have the vice grips holding it on there just so that I will use these as like pilot holes for me while I'm drilling, or at least tapping in the starter, the start of the holes. And so what I'm going to use is this right here, my drill, to drill that up in there. I don't have a bench vise, which will be even better, but so I'm going to be doing this by hand because I don't have the proper tools, okay? So let's see here. So now this thing is very powerful. I kind of jacked up my thumb there once with this thing, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. My thumb, my pinky, I mean. So let's all right, I think that's doing pretty good. nice if I had some cutting oil up in here with it, but I'm too lazy. There we go. The first one is through, and now I'll finish off the other one. Alright, so the second one is through, and so now I'll separate it. Now remember, I have those 5mm bolts, so I need to make sure that the hole is wide enough to get those through. So I'm going to take one, and I don't think it is, so I'm probably going to have to do one more little bit on here. Use my step-up bit to get that a little bit bigger. So it's too small, so what I'm going to do is take this bit off. And then open that up a little wider. Come on. And get my step-up bit here. These are awesome. I love them. 3-pack from Menards for a little bit of nothing. Making sure not to hit that power button while I'm doing that. So now I'm probably going to take this and hold it and make these holes a little bit bigger. And let me try it out from the other side. Then I'll do a test with, I would say a little bit longer. I mean, a little bit wider. See if that does it. Where are you? Trying to hide from me. Do that here. Alright, there we go. Now it's going through, and I'll make the other one a little wider as well. Gotta clean up all these little shavings before the little ones would come up in here. Alright, so now, since that's done, I can move that out of the way. I can move that back over here. I won't need those or those, but I will need all of my hardware now. Although I didn't bring any screwdrivers or anything here in with me, so I'm not fully ready. But it'll at least give you an idea of where I'm going with that. So take out all the stuff that I need. 2 of those. 1 of those. Get that one out. And get this little puppy out of here. Alright. So then again, remember the 2 holes on there is the top. So I want that up there. So I want to mount it like that on there. Alright. So, and given that the cam will be on this side, I want to put through the bolt through that end, like that, so that the bolt sticks out that way. And I'll do that for both. Then I'll put a couple of lock washers on there. I know I have the nuts that I have are the locking style type, but I figure lock washers wasn't much, so I might as well make sure that there's no chance of that coming loose. So I'm just screwing those on. And since these are the locking type that has that nylon up in there, I won't be able to screw it all the way down. I'm going to need my Phillips and a little wrench to hold that in. So let me go grab that, alright? Alright, so I'm back with my ratchet with a little 10mm on here. And, oops, I'm sorry, 8mm. And I got my Phillips. And so just use that to hold it while I tighten this down. Probably would have been easier to use should have grabbed my drill, would have been already up in there. But look at that, look how steady I am. You'll think I was a drinker or something. Alright, and one more. There's one little thing I'm noticing as I'm putting this in here, and I'll bring it to your attention in just a moment, and we'll determine if that may be an issue or not for me, which I didn't think about when I was putting this in. Okay, so you see I have that on there, right? And you see the height wise, but look, I need to reach the back of those in order to screw them in with the Allen's wrench. I can't do that. I should have had it setting up a bit higher so I'll have the access to the back of those. But I didn't think about that, did I? So I may have to re-drill holes, but we shall see in a moment. So this right here will go on there like such, like that, and yeah, this would have been real easy peasy, had I thought about that beforehand, but I didn't. But it'll give you guys, if you guys decide to go the same route, at least it'll help you to think about that beforehand, because now it looks like it only will make sense to re-drill, to put that higher. Yep. So, learning lesson there. So I'm going to re-drill and we're going to start back over, okay? Learning lesson, people. Alright, so I took the bolts out and I set it so that the two holes now set higher than this bracket, which will now give me ability to access the bolts from the back half, back here. Alrighty. Now I'm going to do the drilling again. You guys don't need to watch that a second time. Alright, so now I've reset it. The bolts are in. You see the height difference now there pretty clearly. Right? And so now I'm going to take this here, over here, and let's see here. And I'm going to mount this, oops, turn it around the other way, back onto the oil catch can. So put it back on there, and I'll take these. I think in the end, though, I probably will throw a little Loctite on these too, just to be a little extra safe. Blue Loctite, that is. Because when it's bouncing around underneath there, and you know, you're supposed to check these probably every 1,000 miles. You know, the bolts can come loose long before that 1,000 miles comes around. So just to be safe, I'll probably end up just throwing some little Loctite on there. I kind of wish there was more than just those two bolts, because this bracket, I would say, the one that they have, isn't very, what's the word you want to use? It is a thick bracket. And you know, if you have any kind of wiggling or bouncing, you're always just wondering if the bends will eventually, you know, where the bracket bends and curves around, will eventually get weak. You know, so. But luckily it's, you know, about a $20 oil can, so worst case I'll just buy the same brand again if anything was to happen, and just switch it off up in there since everything else is already ran. Alright, I have that in there, so that's our bracket there, so it's all ready from that perspective. We got to get the other bracket, let that dry to mount that to this end over here. I'm not sure if I have to end up drilling some holes. I'm sure I will be, but at least put two nice sized bolts and nuts up in here, big ones, to hold this really nice and tight. And we'll have to measure that out though underneath the hood to make sure, because we want this to drop right in the right spot. So that's about it. I think in a moment we'll probably go ahead and pre-install these so it'll already be ready for that. Alright, we'll do that in just a moment. Alright, so in this universal kit you get 6 of these, but all you need are 2. It all depends on which size you need. For our application on the Jeep Wrangler, we want the size with the biggest one. We want the biggest one, because ultimately it's going to go into the new heater hose that I showed you earlier, the 5/8, and it's going to slide in there. So you want the one that's going to be as tight around there as possible. And so the biggest one is the one you want to use. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take this, and so what you need to do is, I already put one on one of those. You need to put an O-ring on there. You see that O-ring on there? So with the supplied O-rings, you're just going to take it and slide it on there. Just roll it on there like so. Alrighty, that's what you're going to do. So those are the 2 that we're going to use. So we will not need this medium-sized one or the small one. We're going to put some tape on here, okay? Alright, so I went and got some of my own pipe thread tape, because that's what I told you earlier, that I had no plans on using the one that was supplied, because I just want to make sure it's not something that isn't going to hold up over time. Let's see here, so go ahead and put this on. Go around like 3 times, nice and tight. There we go. So the pirate, there we go. And do the other one. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and thread this in. Go back as far as it'll let me. This right here is 19 millimeter. It down. Then do the same for this side as well. All right, so there we are. So now we are ready to go out in the garage and get that all set up. That'll go on like this, of course, with hose clamps too as well to keep out any air leaks, anything from dripping out as well. But we'll wait for the other bracket to dry, so that'll be tomorrow, and we'll go from there. See you guys here tomorrow. All right. All right, so we're back to our oil catch can. So we should be ready now because this bracket is dry now. I painted it. I had to end up trimming it down a bit more over here, just simply because it will be too long where we want to set it. Because this is the part where, imagine the ABS system here, so it'll be like that going over the ABS system. This is towards the front of the car. So there's going to be a bolt that goes in there down here that holds it to where the ABS system is at. This will go up over the ABS system and parallel to the fender on the driver's side. And then this will mount on top of there. I already drilled a hole up in there. You see the hole next to the elongated hole? That will mount onto here, and then it will be painted. Now this right here, you can see the two openings for the hoses. Those will be pointing towards the engine, and it should give me enough clearance to be able to run the hoses over there without risking bending them. And this setup too allows for me to still have room to get in there and unscrew the can to dump it when I need to. So I shouldn't have anything. I originally was going to recess it back further and would have been closer to the ABS system, but I really wouldn't have much. It would have been kind of difficult to get in there to unscrew this. So I decided to push it out just a little bit more. So I'm going to put the screws in, the screw in. This is one I found in the garage. So it's going to go in there as such. And I'll put it down there like that. It will go through there. Then I have a lock washer and a nut. And so ultimately it'll be set up like that, in that type of an angle. So we'll get it out to the Jeep and see if we can get this thing hooked up. All right, so now we're out at the Jeep, and we have our catch can over here, and oil catch can. And remember, I want it to go basically like that. That's basically what I'm looking at right there. Let me bring you guys some light so you can see that it's going to end up being in there something like that, and it's going to connect on down up in there. You can kind of see that circle right there. That should be where it's going to connect to. My only concern with that is that the original screw is shaped like this, right? Not much thread. Me putting that bar in there reduces the amount of thread that actually gets in there. You see what I mean? So that's my only concern. So I may have to find a longer bolt in the end. But that screw hole is down up in there, and we'll get it. We'll get it. All right. So to recap, this right here is the original bolt that goes into the to hold the ABS system to the bracket. So this is one of the original bolts. It was too short, when I use the bracket that I'm going to use to hold the oil catch can. So what I did was I went and found two similar boats. I'll just say without the sleeve, of course, on there. Two different lengths. I think I have a 40 millimeter and a 50 millimeter length. And so I also got this little sleeve here, also from Menards, and I cut it down so it'd be about approximately the length of that jacket that's on there. All right. I meant to cut it slightly longer so to accommodate the thickness of the bracket too, but my cutting was a bit off there, but I think I'll still be fine. So what I'm going to do is see if this right here will work. I don't see any reason why it should not work. I'll probably throw a washer on this side too as well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give the 40 millimeter length bolt a try first with the sleeve on it. So I'm pushing it in there. I'm not sure how much of this you guys may be able to capture, but hopefully you'll be able to get some of it. It's a tight spot up in here. And slightly bigger than the original sleeve, so it may not work out that way. I'm taking the sleeve off now, just so you know. You can give it a try without the sleeve on it. Threads are catching, which is good. Alright, and I'm going to get my ratchet, not ratchet, but my wrench. Wrench need to keep it loose. I made doesn't work. It was slightly too thick to go up in there. And that was the closest one I could find at Menards. They did have some bolts that were similar like that with the sleeve built in, but not the size that I need. And this bolt is a M6, or is that an M5? I think it's M5 or M6. M6. Yeah. Both is an M6. And both they had like that were similar like that were much bigger. And I did put a washer on there as well. I'll show you what I have. Alright. Let's see here. So that's the bracket. Here, let me get a better angle for you guys. Alright, so there's the bracket. There's the bolt down there, coming up over the ABS into this bracket with the bolt in there, over there to the catch can. So that's the general setup, and Let's see here, I'll do something to firm it up a little more. It's pretty firm, so, but I'll probably do like some really dense foam tape underneath here, so that it can rest on the ABS system from a cushion from a bump standpoint. So a really thick tape on foam cushion up underneath here, foam tape, you know, probably about yay thick. And I'll be able to, that foam will be able to rest on that ABS system, and any bumps or anything, it's like it's riding on air shocks. So, and so, then for room over here, you can see the amount of space we still have for putting the hoses in. So we still got a decent amount to get that. So positioning wise, I think that's pretty good. Now to start installing this right here is the tube that comes out from the PCV valve in the back in the valve cover. So it comes around from the back, goes in here into the intake manifold. And so we just need to take this off here. And it's not that easy. I think a flathead may be good to help me to work that off of there. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna get my big flathead to see if we can just push that puppy off of there. Ah, there we go. Made it much easier. Sometimes you just need the right tool. I wish I had my vice grips out here, because I'm sure I need to turn this hose. This rubber boot just comes off, and let me see if I can use my big flathead again to push it off from the other side. Although I think the vice grips would be good to wrap around that and turn it. Don't want to mess up that boot, because you never know if I may need it later. There we go, broke the seal. I mean, didn't break it, I just, what kept it from coming off, so it's not broken, people. There we go. All right, it's off. So now at this point, we can get our new heater hose and start to put that on. This new heater hose is going to go on right here. So we'll start to get that all set up. All right. Hopefully that angle I got you guys on worked for you guys. And I hope I have enough hose here. I should definitely have enough hose here. So I'm going to route this hose underneath. There's no place to put it under right here. So I'm going to take it under the spacer that I have right up in here. Just got to find it on the other end and catch it and bring it up and through. Or maybe let me try from this direction. That may be easier. Yep, that's much easier going from that direction. All right, being careful of the wires. So that's a good place to route it. Oops, I see you guys moved, to let me readjust you guys. All right, so this is what we're dealing with here. All right, so I'm going to put one of these on up in there ahead of time, one of the hose clamps. Bring it around, and I don't want it resting on this if I don't have to, so I'll see if I can get that hose up in there without having it rest on there. And put it on there like that. Hopefully you guys can see that. I can get it in there a bit further. Alright. Now let's situate it so we don't have any bends in there. That's good. That's pretty good. There's channels for this stuff over here, so the one that I'm using is outside the channel now. Alright. And that being outside the channel gives me that extra wiggle room that I need. And so this is the dirty side. So the dirty air is coming out of here and it was going into the exhaust manifold. So we're going to take the dirty side, which I'm routing now, and put it onto the inside of the catch can. So the dirty air goes in there. And then I'm going to route from the outside. The outside is going to come out and go, which is going to be the clean air, and go into the exhaust manifold. So I want to route it around, and I think that should probably be about enough length for that. So hopefully these old scissors are sharp enough to cut this, and they appear to be. All right, and hopefully you guys can see that over there, what I'm doing. Bring you guys up a little bit. All right, and from where your angle, there is the connectors over there. I'm putting this on one of the hose clamps. Oh, wait, before I put the hose clamp on, I don't want to lose it underneath there. I'm going to route this under and around, and this needs to go to the inside. And the thing is I don't want it to bend. So oops, just lost one of my clips. I don't want it to bend, so right now I'm looking for what's the best way to make that happen, not to have a bend in there. If this was slightly on an angle this way, that would have been perfect, but you can't have everything you want. If this was, let's see here. See, putting it on there, see, like that is not bad. Yeah, I think I can live with that. Let me get another clamp, put it on there. I think I want it for the other side. And we'll put it on there like that. Luckily right now everything isn't tightened up over here, so I got some wiggle room with how the catch can is going. So that's good without it being tight. So that's going into the inside, and now I need to bring the clean air out. So I'm going to route the other hose, the other half that I cut off. I'm going to route it back under there again. And I'm going to route the, oops, I need a clamp for that. So I have my hose clamp on, and that's going to go into the clean side. And now I have this part, so the clean air, so I don't want to bend in there, so I want to be able to do it without a bend. And what's the best route? I think keeping it long may be good. Taking it back, you got lots of room to curve around without putting that bend in there. So I think I may actually keep that one long. So I dropped my clip before. It's down on the ground. Let me get that real quick. My last hose clamp. And I'll put that on. And slide that on there. Just keep wiggling it and it'll keep slowly going on. So now back some of that out a little bit. Just the wrong side. I think this one is probably too thick. No, I've got enough in there. All right. The hose clamp was a little too tight. That now lets me go in the rest of the way, and I can back that off. Still getting some bend in there that I'm not liking. See if it's up like that, but once I put that engine cover on, that's going to push it down. So I got to think about it from that perspective. How can I get the angle that I want? Actually, shortening it actually does better. So you see that? That's perfect. That's perfect. So I shortened it, and that actually gave it a better curvature underneath. So I'll trim some off from this end. So I'm going to back this out, make it a little bit bigger. That way I can get it further up on there. And then tighten down that hose clamp. Then size this, that's the right size for that. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to tighten up the one over here from the dirty side. Get that on there and back it off, open it up a little bit so it can slide into place where I needed it, where it's going to be most effective. Which is about right there. Now I can tighten that up on there. None of the hose clamps in the kit were useful. Now I'm going to tighten up the one on the inside because that length is fine. I'm happy with that length with no bends or anything like that in there. All right, that's nice and tight. So I'm going to pull the outside off, and so you know they're clearly marked. So don't worry about that. Which side is in and which side is out. So I'm going to take that off, re-measure it, and figure about that should be pretty good. If I'm going to go up and in, I think I'll go with about that length. Cut that off. So that one pack of hose, based off of where I located it, is definitely more than sufficient. Oops, don't want to forget the clamp. So put that on. And tighten that down. Okay, so as far as the system goes, it's set up, it's done. So that part was a success. It's all in good places. The hoses aren't any place that is bending or being restricted or touching anything that could be hot or dangerous. And the oil can is in a good accessible place, so I can easily get in there and unscrew that off of there to clear it out. I have enough room down there to drop it down and get it out of there, of course with the dipstick out of the way. And so that's a good spot. So we're going to button this up a little bit more, and then we'll fire her up. Alright, so she's all installed. Everything's buttoned up. She's running well, no vacuum leaks. I'll tell you how things look now. So here's the bracket that I made coming off here. I still have to put some really dense foam, tape foam on here so that it can be between here and the top of the EBS system. The bracket here is there, it's nice and solid. I think the foam will help out too, the dense foam. And you have easy access to be able to take the whole can off with the two Allen wrench style bolts here, or to have access to the can, so easy access there. Let's see here. Now the only thing I would say is right here, I don't like how close it is to the pulley right there. So I'm thinking about that right there to see what I may think about doing for that over here. Let's see here, from a routing standpoint, I may take it out and I may just route this one over instead of under, and that way it'll just come this way. That'll probably be a lot better. I prefer running under, but in the end I don't want it for any reason to touch that pulley that's running over there. So other than that, everything's working pretty good here. And you know, you guys want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button over there. I have a lot of how-tos out there, one for the cold air intake, for the spacer, for the power box, for the shots. I have one, if you can see it down up in there, there it is. That's for the that's for the Mishimoto coolant filter, so I installed that up in here as well. And I got one over here for the steps over here. And for the radio, I have one for that. Let's see here, what else? I have the dual exhaust back there. I got one for that. I got one back here for the Smitty built slant back tire carrier. I'm still in the process of getting that all set up here, and that's for when the top's off. The tire will be able to sit at a 45-degree angle. That's going to be hot. And a lot of other ones out there. So hit that subscribe button, people, and keep checking me out. Thanks for joining.